Hello guys, it's Pep from Pep here, and today we are here with a kinda different video. I wanna experience something different, so I wanna see if you enjoy this content, so don't forget to leave a like to make me understand that you like this type of videos and I can make more like this one. So of course don't forget to subscribe to support me and the channel. So what am I gonna doing with this video? So I just wanna, as you can see, I'm on the Duel Links meta site on the tier list, and I wanna show you what is consistency and why a deck needs consistency to be, we can say, victorious in a format tournament like the one of the Grand Tournament, so the KC Cup in general. So as you all know, the Grand Tournament, as all the KC Cups, work in a point system. So you need to duel a lot, and every time you win a duel, you get points, and every time you lose a duel, you lose some points. So it's more important that besides having a good combo to bring out, it's very important to consistently bring out this combo in every duel, so that you not break, of course. So you want to be able to do things in your duel, you do not want to break. So, and this is when consistency came in and shows its importance. So let's go and see the top decks. So we have a tier list right here, and we can see the consistency of the top tier deck and why. So I'm gonna explain you what I mean to when I say consistency. So let's start from the tier 1 in the Duel Links meta site. It's Kristen's. So 30 card deck, as you can see. But what I mean consistency, so by consistency I mean the chance of not breaking in your first turn. So keep in mind you have 4 cards in your starting hand, so, and there are cards that like for example Alistair the Invoker, that are 1 card combo, and cards like like Staple that can help you survive the next turn but are not useful for your combo. Then we have cards like, for example, here we go, Genix Undyne. What it does, he helps you bring the combo and is a very important card. So it's a card, for example, you definitely want in your starting hand. On the other side, which from this is a card that you do not want in your starting hand. For example, you do not want in your starting hand a Genix Controller or a Christian Impact. So we can say that the worst hand right here could be made of 3 Christian Impacts, or we can say 4 among these last cards. So we have 3, 6, maybe 7 and 8. We have 8 cards that we do not want it all together in our starting hand. So, but keep in mind that this deck is pretty consistent. And why? Because 4 out of 8, but most of all we have 30 card decks, so the chances to draw 4 cards only among the 6 one or these 8 ones is really low. For example, I could put in this bad list also Artifact Lancia, but in the truth is not, because Artifact Lancia can actually stop your opponent from making his combo, and so this could mean that you can survive another turn, and this means another draw. So every card that lets you survive one more turn is definitely good, and you want that card in your starting hand. So for example, this deck is really consistent because each of these cards has an effect that lets you thin the deck, add cards to your hand, special summon monsters, let you go for a synchro summon. So these cards are all good and all cards that you want in your starting hand. So besides, not considering all the effects, of course each one has a different effect, so maybe some cards you really do not want in your starting hand, but I think you know what I mean when I say that these cards are useful in your starting hand. So this deck, for example, is a really good consistent deck. Then let's move on. What we have here? Dark Magician, for example. This is a simple deck that is run with Seal Thumb, so keep in mind, of course, that the consistency thing is a little bit different if you talk about a deck that has balance as a skill. For in this case, we do not have balance, but what we have here? Now, the chance of breaking with this deck are really high, because if you do not draw in your starting hand a Dark Magician Circle and a Rod, both, you can definitely be scooped. In this deck, as you can see, we do not have a one-card combo. So, if on a side, we can say that Magician Rod is almost a one-card combo, because, you know, with your Rod you can search for a circle that maybe can let you have a card from your deck if that card is among the 3 next cards in your top deck. So it's a little bit different. And then we have Sealed Thumbs that not helps you survive, and we have also a lot of cards like Herald, like Cyclone, that let you lose life points. Of course, they are made on purpose to trigger the skill, but this will not help you survive. So keep in mind that this deck, in my opinion, is very far from the concept of consistency, because there are a lot of starting hand in which you will not have the combo ready, and if you do not have your combo ready, this deck will fail. So I think that most of the times you will not manage to special summon a Dark Magician with a Dark Magical Circle. And keep in mind that this combo, once that you have the perfect combo, the whole combo in your hands, this does not ensure victory, because of course with all the cosmic cyclones that you know are around the meta, it's so easy to break this combo just with a cyclone that, you know, to me, using a Dark Magician deck for this format, it's not the best choice. Guys, of course, this is my analysis. These are my opinions. So, of course, take those, analyze my thoughts, and keep what's good for you, and what's bad, let it go. So, to me, Dark Magician, at least with this skill, so with a skill that does not improve consistency, it's not a good choice for this format. Let's move on. We have Black Wings. So, Black Wings, on the other side, are to me a very good deck, a very good choice. So, here we go. So, 20 card deck, we have a lot. Of course, this skill does not help. Why they are a good deck to me? Because we have Black Red Whirlwind, we have the Simon the Poiswind that is a searcher for Black Whirlwind. So we have also some negation cards, of course, cards to destroy and banish back rows, so pretty good. Then we have Synchro that can destroy monsters and cards your opponent controls, a lot of good things. So I think that the jolly of this deck is Blackbird Claws, because it's a counter trap that can be activated from your hand, so really good. So this deck is really consistent, even if, in my opinion, the combo that he can put on the field, it's not that good, it's not that powerful, because if your opponent just put on field a monster that cannot be destroyed by card effect, this deck can do nothing, or we can say almost nothing. Or against Kaketas, for example, this deck cannot do a lot, not so much. So you can definitely have to go for the monster that has a huge attack. I don't know which of these one is, because I do not have Blackwing, so I did not spend my gems on this one, so keep in mind that. But on the other side, this deck is really consistent, because he can consistently go for each primary combo, that is to summon this big boy right here, hand has a lot of support, a lot of other cards on the field. You can go for yugioh just to, keep summoning back monsters from the graveyard. So this deck is pretty consistent, and is definitely a deck that you wanna use in a format like the one of the Grand Tournament. So this is a good choice because we have only a few cards that we do not like in your starting hand. For example, I will not play 3 Cosmic Cyclone because I will, I'm a little afraid of the breaking thing, because if you only draw one card, one monster, and then all of this bunch of things, then it's not that good. So of course, if you draw Blackbird Clothes, it's a good thing. So we can say that if you draw Blackbird Clothes and a monster, you should be fine. But if you draw, for example, only spell and trap cards, this definitely mines consistency. So keep in mind that we can say Blackwing, sorry, is definitely a deck I will play in Grand Tournament format, but now with all these spell traps, so maybe not with 3 Cyclones. Keep in mind that, really good thing. Then let's move on to Element Sabres, a deck that I play. I have all the cards. This, to me, is one of the best decks you can play in Grand Tournament format. So there are so little chances to break right here. So in the worst case scenario, when you draw only spell and trap cards, the only spell that's useless if you do not have another card is Invocation, because Invocation is useless unless you have an Alistair in your graveyard or in your hand. So Invocation is the only spell card that's useless. If you draw into all these trap cards, in all these spell cards, you can be completely safe. Of course, unless your opponent has Return in his starting hand, but that's just a case out of 100, so don't mind that. Also because, of course, Return is a spell that is semi-limited, so you can only play 2, and most of the decks do not even play 2. So of course that. I definitely will not play Typhoon. I don't know why he's playing Typhoon. Maybe to counter Dark Magician, because if you have in your starting hand, you can play it from the hand. So I guess it's that the reason. But for the rest, this deck to me is maybe the best choice you can play alongside with Crystans for a Grand Tournament format. What's the bad side of these 2 decks, of Crystans and Element Sabre, is the speed. This deck are not quick enough to end duels. They are really slow. They can, of course, endure duels. They can resist a lot of turns. So maybe you can say that 90% of the duels you're gonna win the 90% of the duels, but these duels will last a lot. So keep in mind that that's why the Heroes deck of the last KC Cup before the ban list was so powerful, because it was so much consistent, and on the other side it was also so powerful and so quick. It can end duels, most of the duels, in 1 turn, in the first turn. So that was the secret of a deck that was so good and that wins the KC Cup. So move on, let's go to Musketeers. There we go. They are still in the tier list, of course, even if they have been nerfed with the recent ban list. So what we have here, why a deck like this is so good? We have a lot of cards to special summon, so keep in mind that Fire is so good because the combo with Fire will let you have 2 monsters on the field, maybe even 3 thanks to Malicious, and you have not even performed your normal summon yet, so that's amazing. Then you want to keep your normal summon for Stratus because you want to destroy the back rows just in case your opponent plays back rows, alongside with your Hatronade. I just called Return, so I just got confused with the Italian name. So Hatronade, of course, I meant with the card that lets all the set spell and traps return to the hand. with turn 8. So this deck is so good because it has a lot of cards that deals with back rows, and in the meantime, this card can let you choose if you gonna go for consistency, so just adding a hero, maybe the hero you need at that moment, or if you can decide to go for the back rows destroy play. So really good. And then he has a lot of power because he can go for a 5000 attack monster, he can go for a direct attack, he can go, you know, for a monster that can lower attack, he can go for a monster that can negate attack. So really good. This skill is, you know, can be this or can be other skill, because you're not gonna be able to activate this skill a lot. But you can no longer use Grit because it had been nerfed. So you can definitely maybe think about this skill, you can play definitely a different skill, but this deck to me can be still the best option for this format. Really the best option. So, move on. Of course, I do not have to explain to you the consistency here. We have, of course, a bunch of cards we do not want all in our starting hand. For example, maybe we can say that in this case, playing this card with these cyclones can be a bad thing, you know. Even this chalice can be a bad thing, because you know, all these cards, you do not want all these cards in your starting hand, of course. And think also that to break, you can just take into account these 3 ones, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and also 11, 12, 13. Of course, if you draw a Faris with another hero, or whichever it is, you are safe, and this is a true thing. But if you draw a Malicious and then a bunch of spell trap cards, you cannot do anything, so keep in mind that. So of course, these are simple decks, guys. I'm not saying you have to play these exactly built. I'm just telling you that these are the archetypes you need to play, in my opinion. Of course, you need to modify to add some cards and to pull out some cards from this. And one, of course, is Cyclone. Also, I will not play this skill at all. So, keep in mind that. Then we can move on. Shiranui, one of the best deck in terms of consistency. Look at this, guys. Imagine, of course, that Lancea can be an option, but not all the decks play Lancea. But see these decks. There are really few cards that are useless. Apart from Lancea, that I've already said, the Lancea can definitely stop your opponent from OTK you, so it's definitely a good card that you can want in your starting hand. Then you have Lens that can lower the attack of a monster and maybe can save you for another turn. The only cards you do not want in your starting hand are Ballista Squad if you do not have a monster, and then maybe Needle Sealing. So we have 3 cards that you do not want in your starting hand alone. But because of the fact that they are 3, you're gonna draw another card, and if the other card is 1 monster, you are perfectly okay. So this deck is the one that has a so high consistency that has, of course, to be in the top tier list because it's so consistent. You can consistently go for a top tier play, so a synchro monster. Because we have also 1-card combo like Shiranui Squad, it's a 1-card combo. And then, even Shiranui Solitaire is a 1-card combo for the next turn, because it was set to play having himself in the graveyard and a Spectral Ward on the field that is a protection, and that will likely go to the graveyard for the next turn, so that you can activate his effect of synchro summoning by banishing from the grave. So this is why Shiranui are so strong right here in this meta, because they are so consistent. Guys, this deck is almost perfect in terms of consistency. There are really no starting hands in which you will break at all. So, guys, keep in mind that when I say break, I mean that you cannot do anything in your starting hand. You cannot defend yourself, so you cannot last one more turn if your opponent has a 4k potential. So keep in mind that. So this is why Shiranui, to me, can still be top tier. Then we have tier 3 decks. For example, Sabre Dragon. Sabre Dragon is a deck with a lot of power because it can go for the 4K with a 4000 attack monster that also inflicts piercing damage. It can go for a lot of distraction cards that do not target. Of course, it also plays, for example, a concentrating current, so you can get rid of cards really easily. But guys, how many cards we have here that cannot help us on our first turn? So if you draw, for example, Sabre Dragon, these Cyclones, these Spells, this Cybernetic Overflow, this Herald, you cannot do anything with all these cards. If you do not draw a Sabre Dragon Core or a Sabre Dragon Buyer in your starting end, you're almost scooped. Keep in mind that this deck is so powerful but lacks of consistency. So to me, it's not a deck you want to use in a format like the Grand Tournament one. Because this deck will break a lot, guys. Will definitely break a lot. And maybe, even if you can draw for this and maybe use that, you know, to trigger the skill and maybe have monster on your field, it's not the optimized play. Because you know that it's a play that you made because you have bricked and you could not do anything else. So, keep in mind that, to me, this is a deck that you definitely do not want to use. Because you will break a lot, and in the long run, you will have a lot of duels when you break, and losing points is a thing that you definitely do not want to do. Keep in mind that, guys, if you want to play Sabre Dragons, do not play 3 Cyclones, but ensure to use cards that can help you, you know, increase consistency. For example, what I played in my Sabre Dragon deck was Into the Void. Into the Void can help with... I'm just gonna show you right now my Sabre Dragon deck modified thanks to the advice of one of my dear friends, Yami Duelist, one of the, you know, subscribers. So we have to go to GX and then move to Zane. There you go. I played in my Sabre Dragon deck. I played Into the Void to increase consistency and to make him, you know, to make me increase the chance of drawing at least one core or a buyer, because all the cards that I have can be set, so I do not care about, you know, the bad effect of discard of the cards in my hand, because even if I have Sabre Dragons that I cannot play, if they go to the graveyard, I can still use them thanks to the effect of Cybernetic Overflow. Keep in mind that, guys, Into the Void is definitely a good addition to help consistency in this deck, to increase consistency of a Sabre Dragon deck. Keep in mind that. Let's move on to the last deck then. I think it's enough. Yeah, I've already made 20 minutes video, so I think I will analyze the last one. The last one in tier 3. I'm talking about Ritual Beast, Spiritual Beast. This deck can be really good, really consistent. There are only a few cards that if you draw them in your starting end, you know, you cannot do anything, because they have Sphere Kuribo that can help you survive. They have one card combo like Winda, and then we have this, if I'm not wrong, Spiritual Beast is also one card combo, so really good. And you can definitely play, instead of the Tie That Binds, you can play something like Destiny Draw, because you have cards that control life points. So definitely Destiny Draw to increase consistency so that you can go for the cards you need. So really good, guys. For example, to me, Spiritual and Ritual Beast can definitely go up in the tier list in terms of consistency. So in my opinion, of course. The bad thing about Spiritual Beast is that they are definitely a deck that you need to know well to use. That it's a big brain deck. This is for sure. This is true for sure. And also there are like for example Crystans and Element Saber. They are a slow deck, so they will not end the duels really quickly. They have a lot of combos and you will lose you can say, enough time to end the duel. Especially if your opponent is a tough one, keep in mind that, and you can lose a lot of time and maybe not even ending up winning the duel. Keep in mind that. So guys, this is the video. I hope all the explanations are clear. I hope this explanation about consistency can be useful for all of you, for beginner players, for medium players, and also for pro players. So if you have not understood something, don't be afraid of asking in the comment section down below. Don't forget to subscribe if you enjoy the content, and there are no replays, so I guess we will see in the next video. See you guys, and thanks a lot for watching.